Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolfe.
Still a little bit of sunshine trying to peek through the otherwise extensive cloud cover there off in the distance. Not nearly as much now as what had shown just even 15-20 minutes ago before the sun had continued to set. But nonetheless, cloud cover filling right back in on our Mercy Health Skytrack camera overlooking Rochelle. Otherwise, a relatively calm at night. But you see a few of those breaks in the clouds trying to show up here locally. Unfortunately, the low-level cloud cover filling right back in here into the evening ahead of our next developing weather system off to our south and to our west. You see the cloud cover really starting to fill in across portions of Iowa, and that will eventually lift to the northeast, bringing us our next chance for some spotty showers through the night tonight and lasting into the early part of tomorrow. Ahead of that, we did get a few brief breaks in those clouds. It brought us to 51 briefly in Rockford. We're now sitting at 46 there, 46 also in Rochelle and DeKalb. 42, the current temperature out in Freeport, 44 out in Monroe. We may see those temperatures drop a few degrees a little bit quicker early on as skies do not quite remain as cloudy. So down to 44 at least briefly, but then those jump right back up and hover pretty close to those mid-40s all the way through the night as that cloud cover remains in place. So overnight lows likely touching only the mid-40s or low 40s in a few locations. Tomorrow, we do not warm all that much at all. We only get to around 46, which is where we're at right now. And unfortunately, that's actually the warmest temperature that we have for about a week or so, as we are going to be much cooler for the rest of the week. Temperatures will be dropping all the way through the afternoon and evening tomorrow. A little bit breezy as well. Winds out of the northwest, gusting close to 30 miles per hour at times as our next cooler air mass starts to move in following the passage of this weather system. So going to Futurecast now, this is an idea of how things may play out here into the evening. You see those really spotty showers trying to develop across central Illinois, those continuing to lift through the area, the majority of which staying either south of us or to the east of us, but nonetheless, throughout that entire time, late tonight going into the early part of tomorrow, we could see some spotty showers as well as some patches of drizzle just with how much moisture there is lingering around the area and that weak surface low pressure system passing directly overhead. As it pulls out of the region, you see this clearing start to come in back behind it, especially for Monday evening, Monday night. And that lasts into Tuesday, so we may actually have our first real chance of some widespread sunshine for Tuesday afternoon. Unfortunately, with the cooler air pulling in behind that system, that sunshine will not help us in the temperature department. Looking ahead to next week, we have a couple different weather features that we're keeping an eye on as they may impact our weather for that holiday travel for the middle of the week. The first of which just off the coast of California and Oregon, the next of which off across portions of western Canada. Those will eventually work their way downstream and may bring us our next weather system for the middle of the week. Now, how much those interact to one another will actually determine how strong this weather system could be. And they have been featuring a little bit less interaction, therefore a weaker system and not nearly as much of a snow potential here as they had been showing in days prior. Nonetheless, we could see some of that cooler air wrapping in and bring us a couple snow showers late Tuesday going into Wednesday, also mixed in with some rain. That system does strengthen by the time that it gets past us to the east, but cooler air wrapping in on the back of that will start to bring us our next real shot at some Arctic air mass moving in. And with that Arctic air mass, we could see some daily snow showers, although accumulations likely light. 46 for tomorrow, and note that is the warmest day on the 7-day forecast because we're down to 38 for Tuesday, 30s all the way through Thursday, and then high temperatures down in the 20s for the weekend. Overnight low temperatures even touching the teens for a few nights.